Also, I mean, like the All-Star game, I'm sorry, has gotten lazy. Let's take a look at the All-Star game, guys, and the three teams. Seamus, you mentioned it earlier. There's kind of a theme for these Team Chuck, kind of Team International. You got Giannis, Shai, Jokic, Mitchell, Sengun, Siakam, Towns, and Wembanyama. Now, I don't know if this was discussed beforehand, but something tells me they were like, okay, let's get some themes going here. Team Kenny is like the, up and coming rising stars almost of the All-Star game. You got Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, first-time All-Star, Jaren Jackson, also a first-time All-Star, Evan Mobley, Jalen Williams, both also as well first-time All-Stars. And then Team Shaq is kind of team, past/present. Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, James Harden, LeBron James, Damian Lillard, and Jason Tatum, two of Boston's own, obviously competing on Team Shaq. Now, guys, obviously there's going to be some confusion here, honestly, myself included, on the new workings of this All-Star game format with the four teams. Obviously, you're going to have Team C competing from the Rising Stars Challenge in this tournament. So let's take a look at the All-Star game matchups. Now, semifinal game one, you're going to have Chuck Global Stars, which is the Shai-led team with Jokic, going against Kenny's Young Stars, which is the Brunson and Cade-led team. And on the opposite end of the bracket, you're going to have the second semifinal game, which is the Shaq's OGs, led by Brown and Tatum, against the Candace Parker Rising Stars. That is obviously going to be Team C. Now, the winner of semifinal game one and semifinal game two, we will face off in the championship. Now, both of these games, I want to say, are to 42 points. Am I mistaken on that?
I believe it's to 40, maybe.
To 40?
I'm not. See, this is again where we're going to highlight this. We don't even know what the point total is supposed to be for the target score out here. We don't even know what they're playing to. It's like, just bring back the clock, folks. Just bring back the clock. We don't need this target score nonsense. We're not playing at the YMCA right now. We're playing in the NBA, I guess, All-Star tournament, which is just
it's yes. So
the All-Star game tournament, by the way. It's the All-Star game tournament.
Yeah, it's just bad. I mean, God. Honestly, also, if you want to know this, the NHL tried this; it didn't work out. So, let's make our predictions. Before we do that, though, I want to something I am going to give credit to the NBA for, guys, are the new threads that the teams are rocking. Let's pull those up real quick. I mean, these are clean. I'm not gonna lie. After I liked last year's, they had the pinstripes. I mean, you got that baby blue, you got the red. I'm not a big fan of the dark blue. I don't think it's bad. I just, when you got the red and the baby blue, I mean, those are clean. Those are nice. We're gonna get we're gonna look back on these, and then also take a look at this court. Court's nice. I mean, they did a good job on terms of the graphic designing on the All-Star game. If I can give them props on anything, guys, let's make our predictions though. For this All-Star game. Again, I actually am going to pull these up again, so you just get a second look at it. Obviously, Team Chuck, International, Team Kenny, Team OG, and then Team Shaq, Team Past/Present. Guys, now, for me, maybe this is a common trend. I actually really like the theme kind of based, right? I like how there's a little bit of theme going around. Team International, I think, is the team I'm going to look away from least. I see a lot of guys on that team that have a tendency to not really care, Jokic in particular, but also on the flip side, you got Giannis, who usually cares and, brings it. So I think that team's intriguing.
Let's make a note real quick. Yeah. Trae Young will be replacing Giannis on that team because Giannis is injured right
Giannis
now.
is injured. Giannis
so
is missing.
That's going to be a big one.
So,
because he's actually somebody, because you're right. He's somebody who cares.
Yep. Okay.
So that'd be the one player who cares.
I'm officially pushing them off.
Is replacing Anthony Davis on the OGs team.
On the OGs. Okay. So I'm officially pushing off the international team. I don't think they're going to stand a chance. I'm going to go OG in present. Won't lie, biased included, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But I also I think there's a theme right now, and I think it's LeBron James, Steph Curry, they're gonna win it. The whole Olympics. I'm picking the Team OG. I think it's the obvious pick.
I think it's gonna end up being Team OG just because of how built around. I feel like LeBron James was the one who picked this team out hand picked. I think they did a great job of I mean, he's got all of his guys. He's got Kyrie. He's got KD. So he's got Curry. So I think that just a standout, clear-cut favorite, and also probably the fan favorited team as well, just due to the fact of how well they're built, and it's more of just the comfort of the household names. That's the household name roster. If the international team or the global stars ended up showing up, that could make it a very interesting tournament. If with Giannis being out, it kind of throws a big curve in that. I think they're a team that could have really made some noise, been able to back up the fact that the NBA is trying to build that international market and really grow the NBA to a international level. Um, the Young Stars are a very interesting team as well. I think they're not the best put together roster, but with time they're going to develop into something. You got a lot of things to look at with that team. You look at Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, and Jaren Jackson Jr. are the names who probably stand out to me the most. But I'm looking at the way the rosters are kind of built and how the rotations are going to play out. I think the rotations that the Shaq team are going to be able to put out on the court are something that won't be matched by any of the other teams.
Yeah, the obvious pick is 100% the OG's team, Team Shaq, because first of all, picking against LeBron James in an all-star setting, and really for the last years in any setting, has just been not a smart move. I mean, really, LeBron James, he's kind of that Kobe-esque player nowadays that actually gets up and competes for the All-Star game. And anytime his team is out there, you got to pick him. You got to pick him because LeBron James, he's somebody that gets his team up to play in these All-Star scenarios. He himself gets up to play. And just the OG squad, I think they're going to look across the board and go, first, also, let's just add in another complaint with this. So Team OG, right? So we got Brown and Tatum, we have LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, really the legitimate OGs out there. They're playing the rising stars first.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing? Like
look,
they might not. If Wembanyama's team loses, right? We're not going to see Wemby versus LeBron. We're not going to see Wemby versus Kevin Durant. We're not going to see Wemby versus Steph Curry, Brown, or Tatum. I mean, that's just a ridiculous thing right off the bat. I mean, come on. I mean, you already mentioned it. We're going away from the international team, and ultimately, Wemby might not play any of the Team Shaq OGs, and that's something awesome to see about the All-Star game. That's what I noticed watching old All-Star games this week leading up to this weekend is those All-Star games with Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. 2003 was actually a competitive All-Star game from the standpoint of on one end you had Michael Jordan hit at the time it seemed like a game winner with 3 seconds left on the clock. On the other end of the floor, Kobe Bryant comes down, gets fouled on a three, makes 2 of the 3 free throws, goes into double overtime of that 2003 All-Star game. And that's like a little moment right there that people might not remember in history because it's not really brought up that often. But it's like, man, Kobe and Jordan were really against each other at that point in time. Kobe was the young gun in 2003, and Jordan, that was his last season in the NBA. Well, right now we're witnessing a 40-year-old LeBron, and we're witnessing Victor Wembanyama out there who's supposed to be kind of the next guard, the next generation in the NBA, and they might not even play each other in this tournament. They might not even play each other, and we're going to see LeBron's team play the Rising Stars. I mean, that is a huge problem to me. Huge problem the NBA has set for themselves.
Started by Dalton Knecht.
I mean, yeah, that just makes no sense. But I also think the OG team looks across the board and goes, Rising Stars team, missed me with this. We're gonna whoop them, get out of here. We're more experienced, higher IQ players, more skill. We're gonna whoop them, and then across the board, I think they look at the young guard or Team International. No, you guys aren't winning this game. We're still here, and we're still defending our kind of title as the best in the league. The one thing I'll say about the OGs is maybe they care less than some of these other teams, and maybe they are maybe they're old. I'm just saying, like, old legs versus young legs. Sometimes that does tend to matter, but you have to go with the OGs out there on the floor because you can't pick against specifically LeBron James in this All-Star setting, and of course Brown and Tatum. We're normally a Celtics broadcast, so we can't pick against Mr. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I mean,
I'll admit it, full bias included. If Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are, I'm sorry, I'm full bias. I'm not scared to admit it. But also, like I said it earlier, I'll say it again. I'm gonna pull back up this roster real quick. So, guys, on each team, right, you have 8 players. Why not just have 6 players on each team, right, and have 4 all-star teams? Like,
that's just what makes no sense, especially to 40. If you're playing to 40, why do we need 3 subs?
I was just about to say that. When you're only playing to 40, dude, I mean, half these guys you might see these guys on the floor for. I might turn on the game and see Jaylen Brown on the court or Jason Tatum on the court for 5 minutes. It's terrible. It was just terribly executed. And I agree. Like the rising, so awesome, right? So let's look at the positive because we haven't looked at the negative. What's the positive out of the tournament? Oh, great. You have more basketball, more games. You're seeing different players play right in different matchups. A tournament, cool. That could be a cool aspect. But one of the games is a wash, right? Because the OGs aren't going to lose to the Rising Stars. And if they do, then the ratings plummet because no one's going to care anymore. But they won't lose. And it's like, okay, like I'm going to watch this being on my phone half the time, thinking to myself, this is a wash game, right? There's a free pass. Like it's a buy almost. And so it's like, okay, great. The whole appeal of the tournament is, look at this tournament style, all-stars, more games. You're seeing different players play, right? But one of the games is against the G League, essentially. Or, sorry, not the G League, but it's against the Rise. It's like, what are we doing? It's like you made something that could have been cool and fun, and you just like tanked it with this stupid, like, I don't know. Am I crazy?
But also, I'll mention this. Is it more basketball? Because if you're thinking about 4 quarters in the All-Star game, 12 minutes apiece, well, this is going to be 3 games to 40. It's like we're basically playing 3 quarters here of the All-Star game. Maybe with the team format and the tournament format, the NBPA, the Players Association, went in here and went, we actually want to play less basketball at the All-Star weekend and less run, but that's not what fans want to see. That's not what fans want to see. We want to see more basketball. We want to see an actual game. It's called the All-Star game, and they're calling it the All-Star game tournament. I mean, it's I know where it's like looking kind of on the negative side again, but it just, that is the theme with the All-Star weekend, is they've completely botched this entire format everywhere across the board, and nobody out there thinks this is the right thing to do. I don't know who. I mean, casual fans, they don't know what's going on. How can they know? How can they know this is the right or wrong thing to do?
The casual fans doesn't want to watch Stefan Castle. Like, they don't even know who Stefan Castle like really is. The casual, just like tuning in fan, they don't know. And talk about ratings, you talk about the struggle in the NBA. It's like you are doing literally everything wrong in steering away from everything fans love in an attempt to drive your ratings up. Like, no, you're the one positive, guys. I'm sorry, the one positive, the jerseys. Jerseys are fire. I mean, straight like some of the best All-Star jerseys they've put out there, I think, in a decent amount of time. And like, that's the one thing I'm looking at this All-Star game. I'm like, at least I can go get myself a $150 Jason Tatum jersey. That's some heat.
Yeah, the All-Star game, like we were saying earlier, I think they could have either, you want to shorten the rosters down, I want to build them up a little bit more. And
right.
I didn't understand the point of it only being to 40 points. I thought that this tournament was going to be the scheduled games, 12 minutes, or even shortened down to 10. But if the teams there's some opportunities to be able to promote other players in the NBA, and these aren't the players that you really need to be promoting. I mean, you obviously have the rising stars who are going to be solid players in the next upcoming years, and it's not even guaranteed because you don't know if Ryan Dunn is going to continue the level of play that he's been having, or you look at a guy like Tracy Jackson Davis, you don't know if they're going to be contributing at the same level that they were, or even see the progress in 4 or 5 years.
Right? Even if one of these guys, like I'm sorry, it's so
Are you
bad.
telling me Trace Jackson Davis on the Rising Stars team that made the tournament?
Yeah.
Is that?
You want me to read you the
Why
roster?
is Trace Jackson Davis
let's pull it up
on All-Star Sunday?
So we can pull it up. So Team C is the team that will be competing. That consists of Stephon Castle, like Franco said, Ryan Dunn, Zach Edey, Keontae George, Tyrese Jackson Davis, Dalton Connect, and then Jalen Wells. So I mean, again, a good distribution of young talent in the NBA, right? We're not dissing these players as young rising stars, right? But Sunday in the NBA has traditionally, and rightfully so, belongs to the current all-stars. It is all-star. They are the all-stars. In my eyes, Franco and I agree with you, right? Like, these guys could turn out to be something. Odds are, like, a lot of these guys don't, is what history tells us. And it's just, it's a wash. It's a wash of a game. I mean, you had a great opportunity here, right? Because again, if this was the one thing turning me off of this, there's two things actually, but the one thing that's turning me off of this tournament, right, is the point cap, right? I don't think 40 points. I mean, in an all-star game, you can get 40 points in one quarter, right? So you assume, okay, say it's a 1 quarter's worth of basketball. That's 12, 24, 36. You're playing 3 quarters of basketball. That's a turn off, right? And the other thing is the fact that the Rising Stars own a game, own a team. If there were four all-star teams playing one half of basketball each, right? Call it 10-minute quarters, 20 minutes each game, right? I'm sitting here thinking, oh, this could actually be kind of fun to watch, right? If they show up, it's new, right? I'm for it, right? I'm not going to bash it. I think it could work. But it's like, oh my God, you do a point total. That's going to, like Seamus, you said, it's probably going to be 12 to 15 minute games max. And then you throw in boom, Rising Stars play the OGs. That's going to be, it's like, oh, it's lazy. It's bad. It's lazy and bad. Sorry, it is.
And what they should do with that approach, if they want to have the Rising Stars try to compete against the All-Star teams, don't just allow one of these teams to make it. I feel like they could have made an accumulated team of all the Rising Stars, the most talented ones who were displayed last night on Friday. If you had like a team with Victor Wembanyama and all, I'm trying to think of other.
You get the wrong Rising Stars. You want the All Stars?
Yeah.
There's like 2 Rising Stars teams in the All-Star tournament. It's like you have the Young Stars and the Rising Stars. Like, what are we doing?
You got the Young Stars and the really young stars. Like, I don't know.
They're not even stars. I'm sorry. Ryan Dunn, Trace Jackson Davis, Jalen Wells. These guys aren't stars. They could turn out to be nice players in the league. Don't get me wrong, but I don't look at this team and go, whoa, these guys are going to be all-stars in a couple of years. I mean, Trace Jackson Davis, what is he in his 3rd year already? Like, or is it second year? Second year? Okay, second year.
You can't be past second year to be in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I look at that team and go, I'm just not, I'm not down with even the team who won. It's like, I don't, like, Stephon Castle is like, oh, Stephon Castle and Dalton Connect. It's like, everybody else. Yeah. Like, Zach Edey.
Put the Thompson twins in there. That's
it's also like, they don't, I'm sorry, this team doesn't belong on. It's like awesome, great. It's a great watch on Friday night where it gets the weekend started. You're seeing some of the young guys in the NBA compete, and they usually compete very well, right? It's not normally lazy. And awesome, great. I love that. Rising Stars, again, it's a tradition. Rising Stars is a tradition. You see those you got memories on the Rising Stars. Like I said, Deion Waiters, Kyrie, like there's some memories there. Wemby last year had a great Rising Stars, but it's like, you throw them in the All-Star game. It's like, what? It's like literally sounds like somebody, like we said, somebody is sitting at an office and they're like, wait, hear me out. They play on Sunday. Hear me out. They play on Sunday. And everyone was like,
give this man a raise.
Yeah, I mean, it's lazy and bad, and it's a shame. You want my prediction? Here's a prediction. They're going to do it this year, and they're going to switch to something else next year. It's because that's what the All-Star Week is becoming. This is every year is different.
Well, it's the 75th anniversary. I would hope that they switch, like they just go back to
it's not 75 of the All-Star game.
Next year is.
Oh, like the All-Star Game 75th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, oh God. I mean, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe they're just like, okay, and then next year we can be like East-West again. Woo! I don't know, man. I don't know.
Didn't they go East-West last year? They were like, we're bringing
They
back
did.
the old format. Everybody's like, yes. And then this year they're like, all right, screw that. We're going tournament, rising stars. It was like, whoa, we just went totally traditional, and then we're going totally radical.
It's
here.
so bad. Man. And I'm sorry.
Like another point on this too. All-Star Game.
I want to apologize to the people watching. Also, I'm sorry for the bashing.
Right.
But it's like, I'm sorry. Maybe, and if you're a fan, and you're excited for this. God bless you. Right? Because I do think there are some things, and I've mentioned them. There's some things you can be excited for, but overall, I think, like Seamus said, we should have titled this "Simple Ways to Fix All-Star Weekend" because it's a little rough. It's a little rough.
All-Star Weekend, not so special.
yeah, I know. I think we titled this wrong. We got to fix the headline. All-Star Weekend's not special anymore. But yeah, I don't know.
It's terrible. I mean, the All-Star Game. What's funny. We talk about the simple fixes. Is they've already been implemented in the past. It's like, don't fix something that's not broken. It's like the ratings are broken because of everything that happens in the regular seasons, multiple seasons, but the regular season in general. It's the lack of household star faces that are not competing for a championship right now, who are specifically American born. It is about the rivalries. It's about the dynasties. There's just a lack of them across the board in the NBA right now. And ultimately, the next generation of dynasties, the household names, they're either young, they haven't done anything yet, or it's still developing. It's still developing, and we're just kind of in that period with the NBA, the NBA goes through those periods. We've already talked about this on past live streams, and right now we're just in that. And the NBA thinks, well, the competition in the All-Star Weekend, we got to implement tournaments, we got to put everybody on different teams. Well, and it's utterly ridiculous. And I already made this point too about the all-star teams in terms of the players playing each other. Like the OG team, it's just awesome to see the OG team play against the young guys, like in general, in East-West format. That might not happen this year. I mean, we're going to see the OG team play Dalton Connect, Trace Jackson Davis, Jalen Wells, Zack.
It's a wash of a game. That's my point. It's a wash of a game. It's sort of like
They're going to be literally treating like a Harlem Globetrotters game. I think like LeBron and Kyrie and Steph Curry are legitimately going to be laughing their asses off playing that game. And who knows, maybe the Rising Stars team puts in a little effort and makes LeBron and these guys put up their hands and be like, oh, crap, we got to try for a second. But I think they're literally just going to be horsing around, just throwing the ball off the backboard to each other, trying to get Steph Curry to get a dunk during the All-Star game. It's not.
I hope we're wrong. I really do. I hope we're so wrong. I hope we can look back on this, right, and say we but it was our first post game show went Thursday, I want to say, and I hope we can come back here and be like, we were wrong, guys. The NBA did a great job, but something tells me we might not be.
No, we are not gonna be where's Justin's guarantee button? I'm gonna hit it right now. We're not gonna be saying that. I don't know. We're gonna look back on this and go 100%. I think we're gonna look back on this not just on Thursday, but in 10 years and go, what was that? What was that one weekend in 2025 where the NBA literally just went radical and crazy for a moment and just threw out anything? Like they were literally throwing spaghetti noodles at the wall trying to get them a stick. Like I don't know. I really the format. It's again with the NBA, with a lot of things that go on in the NBA sometimes. I go, and this has been a lot this past month with specific teams. I think we're going to know which team I'm talking about when I say this, but who approved this? Who approved this?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Who said, yep, you have my stamp of approval on this one? I mean, I really, whoever did, it's like, I'm sorry, Adam Silver, if you're the final say, if you're the dictator here in the NBA, it's like, oh, somebody dig up the grave of David Stern, just bring him back. Like, please. I mean, it's getting to that point. Everybody hated David Stern, but it's like, at least he didn't do this.
Yeah,
at least he didn't do this.
It's bad.